Welcome to Q Breakfast. As usual, my name is DJ Shosta, and today happens to be a very special day because whether you like it or not, governments play a huge role in our daily lives, ranging from the amount of tax you pay when you buy sugar in the morning to what kind of roads you will have where you come from. Now, since we know that government impacts various choices we make, it's the reason we take the time to understand the people in government, as well as the people that are aspiring to be. Because of having this understanding, this can actually help you determine the best course of action for yourself and your family regarding a wide range of issues. Okay, but of course, voting in being the major one. This morning, allow me to welcome to the show President of the United Party for National Development (UPND). He's also a businessman, farmer, and the newly acquired name Baliwan. Hakainde Ichilema. Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, DJ Showstar, Jackson Piri. Good morning, listeners, wherever you are. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, first of all, I'd like to thank you so much for allowing us to have breakfast at your residence.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you guys. It's more important to have you guys here. Really, I mean, we're most fortunate.
Beautiful. So, I was laughing with my friends. Like, I was warned nicely that I was not going to be allowed if I didn't come with a mask. So we need to make sure that we're following the guidelines, the set guidelines here for us to be safe here. So I'm glad that there are those measures, Mr. President.
We value your life. We value lives of all the 17 million Zambians. Thank you. Life is a gift from God.
Beautiful. Mr. President, let's start. Let's begin off by saying some people believe you have a simplistic way of addressing the many challenges facing the country when it's very clear that a lot of work has to be done. I want to know if you, the time you become president, then if you give details, how often do you give details? For instance, how you intend to fix the economy when you become president?
I think the first thing to say is that the economy is in a mess and it needs to be fixed. Citizens are in distress. They have no food in homes other than a small clique of PF zealots that are eating taxpayers' money when the owners of the money, the 17 million Zambians, are suffering. It's a very small clique. It's getting smaller by the day. That's a fact we must accept. And as a consequence of that, we all need to agree that we have to redirect the economy. To redirect the economy, to fix the economy, we need a leadership that has a vision, that has the capacity to implement programs, projects, activities that will restore the economic performance that we've lost, which we have found that the economy growing at 7% to now less than 2%, in fact, this year to negative. That is unquestionable. So the issue is that if the team that takes over, when the team that takes over knows how to manage the economy, it sounds clear, yes, because that's what it should be. It sounds complicated and unclear when you have a visionless leadership like we have now. So that's the problem we're having now. Zambians have begun to think that no jobs, no money in our homes, even when we're promised, is normal. That is not normal. This is abnormal. So we who are saying normal things, that we need children to be in school, we need those who have completed school to have jobs, we need people to have businesses, we need households to be able to sell something, be it at the market, we are viewed as being abnormal, therefore called simplistic. We are the normal ones. We are the ones that will help this country out of its problems.
Mr. President, if the take-home point here is the team, you're saying that if the team has got a way around how to change the economy, then things are going to turn around. Isn't it the message that everyone comes with to say, doesn't it just sound the same as everybody else?
Yeah, how can it be the same, DJ Shosta? It cannot be the same. At the time of President Mwanawasa, you saw the economy growing. You saw us reduce our debt levels to almost minimum. You saw it yourself. Numbers don't lie. We saw it. People's businesses were functioning. Citizens were in jobs. At least reasonable number of citizens were in jobs. The mines were functioning. Today, look at KCM. Just look at KCM.
I'll come to the mines a little bit later. But now I want to find out when you look at the PF governing right now, where do you think the PF has gone wrong in terms of economic management? And also another question that I want to accompany that one is, why wait until the time you become president? Why not share the solutions now? So what do you think the economic management, and why wait, not share the solutions now?
Well, first we must all agree, as I said at the beginning, right, DJ Shosta, that these colleagues in office have no vision. It starts with a vision. Even the Bible is clear. Where there's no vision in the leadership, the people perish. That is why people are perishing now, because there's no vision in the PF leadership. By their own admission, Tawakwata Chimonwa, number one. Number two, they never had interest in running this country. They sought public office to look after themselves. How do I know that? Listen to one of the ministers, Lusambo, saying, abusing Panji Kaunda, the first son of the first president of Zambia, Dr. Kaunda, saying, you had the opportunity when your father was in government to steal money, right? So that you can look after yourselves. This is a minister. No such minister can say a thing like that under the UPND leadership of Bali HH and survive 1 hour in office. Never. So it tells you the culture that is there. No interest in the welfare of the people. The connotation of accusing Panji Kaunda that you did not steal enough, you did not earn enough when your father was president, underscores the third point I want to make, which is that there is corruption under the PF leadership. And corruption takes away resources from citizens. It's not available. Resources are not available for distribution to citizens because resources are now stolen by a small number of people. Even this empowerment fund you see, youth empowerment activity, it's just a gimmick to steal money from citizens. I'm sure we'll talk about that. I have said three things here to remind you, DJ Shosta, because you are the moderator here, to remind listeners that. First, leaderships are not the same. If leaderships were the same, there would have been no need for elections to choose new leaders. We would have had one set of leaders forever until they die. The Zambian people decided, no, let's change leaders every after 5 years, every after 10 years maximum. Right? At least at the presidential level. It is because, hang on, it's because they knew there is a difference in the abilities of people to manage the economy. So that's number one. The second thing is that, so we are not the same. The second thing is that there's no vision in the PF. The third thing is that there's no interest in the welfare of the people, as exemplified by Lusambo. 4, there's too much corruption in the PF, which is evident. So and we will not be any of this.
So you're saying the solutions cannot be offered to the current regime. The solution is until you become president.
What solution can you offer? We offered solutions over the coronavirus fight early on in February. Because you said, why are you not offering solutions? We offer solutions. Even now we are offering solutions. We've offered solutions all the time. But if you have no team that is interested in the welfare of the country, they will not listen to any solutions. They actually think that we're making noise. But how is it that we're making the right noises? Jackson Perry. We made noise in 2013, 2014, before anyone knew it, that the economy will collapse. And we told them, do not do certain things, because if you do those things, the economy will collapse. For example, we told them, don't borrow too much money, because you will not be able to sustain the debt service. Did they listen to us? Did we give them advice? Yes. Did they listen to us? No. We told them that Do not use borrowed money on buying presidential jets, on buying VXs for a few people. Use the money, now that you have decided to borrow, you use that money to invest in agriculture, in tourism, in health, in education, so that we can create skills, we can create jobs, we can protect lives of citizens when they're sick. We didn't even know that Corona was coming, but we were making a visionary advisory work giving advisory work to PF. Did they listen? No. Where are we today? We have a debt mountain. If they listened to us, we wouldn't be in a debt mountain, because it wouldn't have just happened. 2, we told them the economy will collapse. The economy has collapsed. We told them there will be no jobs. Today there are no jobs. We told them that there will be no money, because they sang about more money in the pocket. You know, that child's song they were singing all over the show, right? There's no money. No one has money today. No business has money today. DJ Showstar, just finally, we have rendered advice. There's no leadership that will listen to advice. You need a change of leadership. 2021 presents us the opportunity as the people of Zambia, especially the youth who are being cheated over the Youth Empowerment Fund. There is nothing PF can do now which they could not do in 9 years' time. Because they promised jobs, 1 million jobs. Where are they? Nothing. They promised that there will be
Mr. President, when you talk about no leadership in PF, you not so long ago you worked with one of the people that has been with PF for a long time, and he was actually your second in your party. What message does that send in you not working with people with no vision?
Well, I don't want to comment on that individual. You know that individual has said so many things against me. I've said nothing.
My question is, this person, they don't have visions, but you got him to be your second. What does that say about you and also the people that you want to work with?
Part of our duty as leaders is to mold people who may be in the negative side of things and bring them into positive side. That's what we attempt to do. Not just for one individual, for everybody, for all of us. We must better ourselves, because we have a society, we have a community God gave us. Our duty is to, as leaders, to work on how to gravitate people from bad ways into good ways. That's our attempt. We'll continue making those attempts. Maybe that's the best way to answer that question. I mean, the other way to answer it is that in UPND, if you're unstable, you find it difficult to stay in UPND. Because we provide stable leadership, consistent. Look at what we've been saying for the last 10 plus years. Consistent. And if those in leadership were listening to us, today the country would have been better. And that's why we're saying, we've tried to advise others, they don't listen. It's time now to give us an opportunity to turn around this country's fortune, to give opportunity to the youth, to the young, to the women in the markets, to everybody. So that's my answer to your question.
Mr. President, let's move on.
Yeah.
I've been doing the maths in the last week or so. The 30 million was launched on Wednesday last week.
What is the 30 million?
The 30 million Youth Empowerment Fund.
Yes.
Then over the weekend there was a 470 million that was launched over the in the Copper Belt. Also meant to benefit the youths countrywide. Is it something that the UPND appreciates?
Well, first, this Youth Empowerment Fund comes from a background where PF has promised so many things, and they've delivered nothing. We all know that they've delivered nothing. They never delivered the 1 million jobs they talked about. They never then reduced the number to 500,000 jobs. They've never delivered those jobs. It's clear. Otherwise, graduates wouldn't have been roaming streets 5 years after graduating and they've no jobs. There wouldn't have been 50,000 medical staff and teachers put together. In fact, there's more than 50,000 who are unemployed. Yet they're trained to be in the hospitals, they're trained to be in the classrooms teaching. They wouldn't have been. Failure in that direction. Just a little bit. They promised that load shedding will end when there are rains, more rains. Listen, Emmanuel Tola, he gave us more rains. The load shedding is getting worse as we're speaking now. Probably we are on a generator here. That's why you have this part. They promised us that there will be diesel, 5 kwacha diesel from Saudi Arabia. Where is that diesel? They promised us that anyone who has goats, you'll be able to sell goats to Saudi Arabia. No one is exporting goats to Saudi Arabia. Every promise they made failed. Can the youth fund work? No.
Is it something that you appreciate the government giving the youths 500 million to be able to better their lives and improve their lives? Yes.
Look, we stand for the youth. We want the youth to improve their opportunities, to better their lives. Every youth out there, genuine youth, knows that UPND, HH, the team in our party wants the youth to be better, starting from education, skills, going to jobs, number 2. Number 3, getting business opportunities. We want the youth to be better. But we don't want the youth to be abused by a corrupt regime that is actually now talking about an empowerment program, which is not an empowerment program. It's an appeasement program. It's a campaign program, because they have not done anything in 9 years, which they promised to do. Now they come 1 year before elections to talk about a youth empowerment program, abusing coronavirus donations, diverting these donations to the so-called youth empowerment program, diverting money that's meant to save lives. They are diverting into the youth empowerment. Have they actually told the nation, does every youth of Zambia have access to this money? No. How are they? How can politicians be distributing checks and cash at rallies when we have not seen the adverts, the procedures for accessing this money?
Mr. President,
this is appeasement.
You are saying
and
you stand
I'm
for
saying to the youth, take that money, it is yours, eat it. They want to woodwink you that in the next 9 months they care for you. They don't care for you. That's your money. Take it, use it the way you want. The actual value comes after 2021 elections.
Mr. President, when you look at this, the youth empowerment, it's according to the explanations I've gotten, it's a revolving fund. So the others will get it today, others will still be getting it. To be an ongoing thing. Don't you think it's something that will actually develop the lives for the youths for a long time to come?
The PF have no capacity to put any system in place. They have no capacity. We all know it. If they had the capacity, the economy would have been growing at 7% where they found it, at least. The economy has gone down before COVID to 2%. Right? Kulibe ndalama. Ologulisa chili chonse. Kulibe ogula. Because ndalama anadya avanzatu ba corruption. Anadya kudya ndalama. Sibakuta nokuta. Muntu umoza amanga 48 houses. Paja analibe ungena muboma. Analibe na kanyumbolo kamozi. Analibe na ndalama. 5 years muntu ali muboma. Ayenda na matumba alifulu na ndalama. The youth have no money. All of a sudden say, "Iyi ndalama ya youth." Ni more diela muja. There's no system at all.
Are we not supposed to call people corrupt when maybe they've been found wanting by the courts of law? And isn't the court the only institution mandated to find people corrupt?
Well, my brother, why should we wait for the court to tell us that there's corruption here when 48 houses have no honor? Are you waiting for the court to tell you that there's corruption here? You can see it with your eyes. Are you waiting for the court to tell you that the Lusaka-Ndola road is supposed to cost $300 million, but they've signed a contract for $1.2 billion? Do you really need a court? DJ Shaw, star. You are the star. Do you need a judge to tell you that this 300+ kilometer road is supposed to cost, according to the benchmark, according to the comparisons in Namibia, in Botswana, elsewhere, this road should cost $300 million. But they've signed a contract for $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion less $300 million is $900 million stolen. Do you want to wait for the court to tell you that? When the Financial Intelligence Center, a government institution, has done a report, DJ Shaw Star, telling you that so much $2 billion has been stolen, has been misused. It is there in the Financial Intelligence Center report. It is not HH's report. It is a government institution report. It tells you. And the person who is supposed to help now prosecute and go to court calls that report Mfwiti. You know what Mfwiti means? It says witchcraft. Because he's there. His ministers are there. And now, which court will you go to when the Anti-Corruption Commission takes Chirupcha Chitaru to court, and I'm sure along the way someone was bribed in the Anti-Corruption Commission and goes to court and says, no, there was no corruption, this individual earned this money. Which money did he earn? What money did he have before he went into government? So you have a leadership that is covering corruption. So, and calling FIC report mfwiti. It will never happen like that under UPND. Under UPND, the FIC report comes out, DEC report comes out, Auditor General report comes out, one copy goes to the police, another copy at the same time goes to the prosecution, the public prosecutor, the public prosecution, the director of public prosecutions, another goes to oversight and enforcement agencies, and they will prosecute, and the UPND leadership will support them by giving the police professional independence, giving the director of public prosecutions, support, money, and authority to prosecute. There will be no mfwiti. Zero tolerance to corruption is what will save you money, and that money will go to youth properly now under a system where every youth in the UPND, whether you UPND, you are ADD, you are NDC, you are PF, you will access, or you are not aligned to any political party, you will access the youth fund in an organized way, including giving you support. What support? A market. You give a check to a youth. You haven't given them support in terms of a business plan, in terms of the market. How will that money end up in a revolving fund? DJ Shaw stamp, that money will disappear and it will go because you have not created additional capacity and support to allow the youth to be able to invest that money. If you want a youth to invest in agriculture, what support are you giving? You want a youth to invest in fish farming. You want a youth to invest in ranching. You want a youth to invest in, if you like, growing in Shaba, growing. You need to give other support, technical support, extension. The market, the price must be right under UPND.
Well, there are those programs, fish farming, agriculture. I'm sure there are those programs. I'm sure you followed where people are being taught and then they are given funds to go and better their lives. They're doing those programs.